spread. I think something is actually politically happening from making these connections.
I think every person in this room agrees with that. We wouldn't be here. We believe we can work on a local level and do our bit, and it will connect.
Oh, well, it just, you know, we pay the cost of fossil fuels. So if we don't reduce the militarism and the, you know, trying to control the world with our military, then just, you know, having, I mean, that cost will just be passed on to the taxpayers. You know, we fund the military, we buy the fuel for their wars. And so, I mean, I'm pro-carbon tax too, but I just don't think it's the be-all, end-all. And I mean, you can go at the problem from any one of a number of directions, and they're all mutually supporting. But I just, you know, when we're talking earlier about perhaps conservatives would support even a carbon tax, and they will up to a certain point, you know, and the largest consumers of energy that can most afford to use that energy are not as against, are more against the substantial fuel tax, a serious fuel tax like a $60 or $70. You know, they'll go along with a $10 carbon tax, but you know, not enough to solve the problem, in my opinion.
So we go ahead and you subsidize it and then you tax it after you subsidize it.
That's the free market for you.
Yeah.
Gladys had a comment.
Yeah, so, you know, that really moves it into the realm that I really feel like is the core part of my own passion, and that is related to the need to change the system in a pretty substantial way. But the piece that I think has, that in my mind, I keep seeing this as the way that the underlying factor that really forces us to change all of these different things, the way that the systems are all connected together in our value systems, and my contention that it's the value system that we operate from that has forced us to create this patriarchal domination system that makes us the military society that we are. But the way that we get out of that system is to change the values. And that seems like it's a complicated and insubstantial thing, but when it comes right down to it, the values really are something that we can have an impact on because we are relating to people on a value level with every time we talk to the Tom Cottons of the world or our own friends. So as we are working on the value systems, we are actually moving away from the patriarchy and the domination system that we are seeing is destroying us. And I really feel like that really is the only way that we're actually going to make the substantive change that is going to actually allow us to develop the new party systems and to make all these changes. And I think at the core, we have to keep working on things like the carbon tax. And we have to see these things actually begin to have impact. I think as people are looking at, we say we need a new system, unless we can say, look at British Columbia, that's how it works in British Columbia, and they can say, oh yeah, they didn't die because of that. Then they could actually see that yes, it can happen. I think the same thing happens because we are so attached, we are so grounded in those value systems that we can't see anything past the value system that we live in. The value systems, I really have to emphasize it. It is the value systems that changing the value systems can change all of it.
And learning to speak from those values, that's a big thing, to listen, to hear another person's values and speak at that level, at this different level of speaking.
Right. But I have to admit that I'm not that good at speaking.
Neither am I. It's
Yeah.
difficult. It's difficult.
Well, it is one of the values of this book, because I'm going to stop us at 3 o'clock. I have to do something else tonight. One of the values of this book is to say that that's changing the economic system that you're talking about. This is what I've always believed in, but this book says to me, is a challenge to me. It says, we don't have time for your education. I've always thought when I started, whenever Army started, I started, But when I started teaching school, I was saying, well, we'll have a better world when everyone's educated. He's saying now, he says this, we don't have time for that. We have to do what Art's saying. We have to, and Shelley, you're working on, we have to get down to one specific thing that's powerful enough to change policy. To change the world through what they do, not values they hold. That's what's they call it in psychology.
But I don't think it's one or the other. I mean, we just keep
Yeah.
working on all the fronts.
They are trying to.
Okay, then our discussion has gotten down to then what are some more fronts we might in Omni engage in? Do I have that right? I mean, right now, well, all of us are working on education all the time. Omni has been showing films and lectures, and God knows that everything we can think of to educate people. And then we have projects like Shelley's and Charles and all the rest that you were on it. And we want to keep doing that. So what else might we do that would have to do with education that is faster? Would you agree with that? Oh, you're more patient. Well, and he says we can't be patient anymore, that it's too late. We have, all the studies are saying, are giving deadlines like 2030, 2040. You know, we're past tipping points.
Okay, well,
It's alarming.
let me suggest something. This is going to be a bold publicity, but next Thursday, May 5th, the CCL is having a fundraiser at St. Paul's Episcopal from 5:30 to 7:30. We are trying to raise the money to send delegates to DC to lobby our congresspeople. We have at least 8 people committed to going.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. I mean, we have doubled every year. First year I went, the second year 2 people went, the third year 4 people went, and now we have 8 people going. And we will speak to every congressperson, and we are seeing this little movement.
And this is locally well known because you all are doing such a good job of publicizing it. It's marvelous. And I'm not depreciating any of that for an instant. I'm one of the sponsors.
Well,
for
that's
that.
when she's finished up. When she finished with the announcement.
I just want to make sure everyone knows I'm on the next Thursday, 7:30 and 5:30 to 7:30, St. Paul's
But
Episcopal.
she said that, Gladys, and I think in a conversation, we do not have to formally say, are you through, make your point.
I just wanted to make sure that.
Because you see the points made.
What room are you meeting
And St. Paul's Episcopal, I guess in the big room.
in? Yeah, the
Yeah.
Yes, and it has been well publicized, it's well organized.
And for every $100 donation, a Bill McNamara print, there are 2 different prints being offered. Chris McNamara has made us incredibly generous.
They're wonderful prints.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And they will be given to everyone. who-
Okay,
That's his
now,
father.
That's his father. Yeah, all his work is unbelievable.
we have 5 minutes, Nick. We have done a good job of praising Omni here today in one of its projects. But what else are we doing and what else might we do? Yes.
Well, I'll toss out a favor of mine that I've talked about before, and written a couple of columns about a couple of years ago. And that's that we need more political options in this country. And it's obvious today with Bernie and Hillary and Trump and Cruz and all these different opinions. Those 4 people right there are very different in their political take on things. We need a progressive party and we need a conservative party, plus the Republicans, plus the Democrats. We need at least 2 more parties in this country, and it's so obvious to me. I don't know why people.
Well, tell us how you think we're going to accomplish
The way
this.
you get this in this country, it would take a constitutional amendment to do this at the presidential level, but at the state level, I understand that there's no reason why you can't demand runoff elections within the state if the state legislature votes for it. If you have runoff elections for the House and for the Senate, the argument that you're throwing your vote away by voting green, for instance, is by the boards. That's a vacuous argument at that point. You can vote for whoever you want the first time around. And so the Green Party becomes immediately viable for, and not subject to the vote, to the argument that you're throwing your vote away. As soon as you have the runoff, it doesn't have to be the instant runoff or whatever, just a runoff election. We do that at the local level, it's the most obvious thing in the world, and we would hate it at the mayor's level, we never got it, 4 people were running like a few years ago, and the leader ended up with 35% or something, and the second place was at 25%. And the person with 35% wins all of a sudden, that would have changed history back on one of the mayor elections in this town. I mean, obviously you want to have runoff elections if nobody gets a majority the first time around.
Are you
That's all you need.
speaking?
That's all you need. So we should promote that notion.
No.
And we should promote the notion of more parties, period.
And there are several other things which you say, I know you should. And there are several other things we should change in the electoral system that would enable us to have a third party. Right now, it's rigged. There's no way to have a third party in our country.
No.
I think that would change if you had a runoff election.
Just that one thing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
will change it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there's several other
I
proposals.
think that's all
But
you
you
need
can
to
do
do.
away with voter suppression too.
Right.
I mean, there are,
Yes,
you know,
there's
the
several
states
things.
where Republicans have taken over
Yes,
the House, the State House, they make no votes about it. We don't want people to vote.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So, as a committee and as a peace movement, as a peace organization, we could put our weight behind it. We could work hard to try to get the electoral system changed so we could have a third party. Because it's futile to talk about having a third party, voting for that good lady
Mhm.
right now.
Yeah.
She's not going
Right.
to be successful.
Right.
Jean?
Oh, I just wanted to say that, we are starting a transition, Northwest Arkansas, group, which is about making changes locally to the, communities that we live in, and building a fossil fuel-free economy, doing what's needed on a local level, and I think our next meeting is June 7th, does that sound right to you? At Omni, and maybe at 4:30 in the afternoon, something like that. But if you want to get on the email list for that, you could, tell Gladys or tell me, and then you'll hear notice for sure about this, next upcoming meeting.
Now, that's important, isn't it? That would be a great initiative for us. I'd like to be on your list. Maybe I
I
can.
have it on the first, June first.
Okay, June 1st at 4:30.
June 1st
Okay.
at 4:30. And it's called Transition Towns?
Transition Northwest Arkansas. Well, we're sort of debating on the name, but at the moment, I think maybe that's what it is.
And Gladys has spoken twice about 2 different books. No, not 2 different books. The first and second edition of Transition Towns about that. And I mentioned that twice in my description of all that we've done for climate, all that Omni's done for climate. I mentioned Gladys twice in there. So that's a good thing. And I'd like to be notified. But I think I just didn't come. Aubrey Hale.
If I may, what we can do locally, all of us can do, is fight removal of our urban forest in Fayetteville, Arkansas. We live here. And the tree protection ordinance is allowed to go down each time the planning commission meets, each time the city council meets, they approve the destruction of more good soil and trees in our city, despite having ordinances to protect us and our watershed. And on Monday nights, the planning commission meets. Tuesday nights, twice a month, also the city council meets. You can watch these on the internet live, and you can watch them on government channel. And if you get angry about that, you'll know something you can do here that's more realistic than some of these things that we hope to do in a far future. We can get people to understand that that's important right here. We're creating a heat sink. Just look online and see the number of spaces that are now cleared on the latest Google map. Those things will show you in detail how it looks. And that's what I work on the most, and I think that's something we can touch every day for almost nothing in cost. And you can speak at all those meetings. The other thing, you can get some benefit from reading these books and talking about them if you will promote the DVDs, the videos that I put on Facebook as a link after putting on YouTube. And that's what I do with these. Some of these meetings don't get viewed many times. So we can share them with other people. I hope you would all watch them, because I get to see the whole thing over and over again before I get it all posted tonight. Thank you.
Just to add, because what Aubrey just said, this book opposes. This book challenges each individual atom doing his thing. That's what I've done all my life. And that's what mainly we've done in Omni. Each small bit. And we do a little forest here and a little forest there. His case over and over again is that if it does not reach public policy, it's Lilliputian is one of his words. It just isn't going to change our work the way we have to do it. And Shelley's committee has done that. They're going out and talking to Tom Cotton. They're trying to reach power and trying to change power.
But we're also doing, really nitty-gritty grassroots work of building political will among communities. I mean, that's essential for reaching those who have the political power.
That's what we do. That's what we've always done.
I just mentioned that I'm going to be teaching a course on climate change for the Ocean Lifelong Learning Institute. And it'll be 6 hours.
Can Gladys send us your announcement to that
Sure.
time?
It's first session, 2-hour sessions. The first session is next Thursday.
Do we have to pay?
Well, I think that you get one guest attendance, and then after that you have to pay.
Are you going to talk about carbon fee and dividend? Are you going to talk about carbon fee and dividend? Are you going to talk about carbon tax?
Everything. I'm going to talk about everything.
Well, I'm sorry we didn't get to a lot of other things that Omni could be doing or that we're already doing. But maybe next time, next month, we'll be able to talk about those things too.
That's 10 to 12 at Global Campus on Thursday, 3 consecutive Thursdays.
Oh, okay. Did you send out a link to that? Did you send out a link to that?
I'll get back to all of you and follow up, and let's consider this the beginning, not the end. Our wonderful book forums come and they're just going out of line. So let's try to.
Let me also mention that Dick is going to be the facilitator tonight for open mic. It's a busy day for him.
Already lost my voice.
So, anybody wants to come and do open mic?
Come and read a poem, or just be in the audience. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to play, sing, or read. It's wonderful. And it's the last one of the season. Donna and Kelly closed down in the summertime. I'll see you later tomorrow. I'll see you later tomorrow.
Oh, for anybody.
No, I don't. Thank
About 5 and 10 minutes.
Great.
Right.
Sure. That's what happened.
Well, that's the marvel. We've got some astronomical possibilities, it's too big for
Be
us.
definitely. I've been thinking.
You know what a dance guard extra
God, that's
is?
scary, isn't it? But I mean, you know, when you send this to me, it's, you know,
Here it is in the
when
United
you send this to me, it's like,
I don't know, your ears.
They're defense. And, some of the,
you see in this book, improvement.
Oh,
they see,
I've seen
they
my
see,
Was in my notes now,
like 8 degrees Celsius rise
Check it out.
in 10
But
years.
anyway, if you don't know what it's spelled, we wouldn't know
So
either.
you think it could be,
But I didn't really
temperature spike, term,
Yeah,
in this century.
Good.
yeah. Except it won't be short term,
And what makes you?
because the ice caps are already melted. So something like that will drive a catastrophic collapse. You know, and we're already, we're already in a positive feedback. People ask me, what's a positive feedback? And I say, think of an explosion. Starts with the
Which,
spark.
which ones, were you on, is it Arctic and Arctic Ocean?
The Arctic, yeah, because,
But methane?
because, you know, the
The
thing is,
melting in the Arctic Ocean.
the cryosphere guys have always been behind. They say, oh, well, you know, by 21,
Okay, why don't we start this?
oh, by 2100, you know, the Arctic Ocean may be ice free in summer.
Mm-hmm.
And now,
Well,
it's
well, by 2030.
by 2030, the Arctic Ocean may be ice free in summer. But they're still behind the
I
curve.
don't see it even
The Arctic Ocean may be ice free in 5 years.
There may be confusion.
Yeah, because it's a positive feedback. Okay, north of the Arctic Circle, you get 24 hours of sunshine. The less ice you have, the more energy you absorb, and the warmer it gets. You know, and that makes less ice, so it gets even warmer. It's a positive feedback.
Yeah, there's some, some calculations, some much temperature rise between now and
We don't know what causes the garbage.
well, maybe somebody's
Okay, I can't keep up with
They think it's,
I click out. And if it's in the newspaper, I might.
you know, we're just guessing. But we know that as we see it in the free
Yeah, yeah, I'll look.
and
It's
it's probably, the best guess is that it's related to changes.
I'm going to go find it, I'll look for it tomorrow.
I read it, too, it's
Is
pretty
there
bad.
any, references or anything like that?
Is there any way to?
Talk about
I
the,
wish
discuss
you
them?
use the word impeachment. You have to get some authority or something.
Yeah, I mean, we know that the Greenland ice sheet and West Antarctic ice sheet are diminished.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the Ross ice shelf broke up in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think the West Antarctic, I think might be doing, but not that.
Hey, got me something?
They've concluded that it's irreversibly
I
destabilized,
can't guess.
that it's gonna go.
Yeah, I'm
The
on
only
that.
question
I
is,
just read that
what is the
yesterday.
time?
But I
What's
just
the
see this
time?
cave.
Yeah.
Look at that, that's nice advertising
The
us.
people who are really optimistic say it might take a century.
Oh, you're not talking about something for me to do. We
No,
gotta
no,
say,
no. Hey, it's a positive
yeah.
feedback. It might take 10 years.
Hey, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming.
Well, if you come across articles, talk about this, I mean,
Mexico Drive, it's 8th year later.
And I couldn't think of what I couldn't think of what I might find here. Okay.
So,
But
send me
it's just,
some references.
the thing about positive feedback is just a matter of simple physics.
Oh, yeah, I can see.
The ocean has a much lower albedo than ice.
I think in 500 years, we're all gonna be submerged in a whole lot.
And the book
of
was
water.
6 years ago.
No, I think we're
However,
going to submerge by 20. I think we're going to lose several quadrillion dollars worth of
Page after page, there's a-
Yeah, but there are a lot of
before
contradictions.
2100.
Little
I
contradictions,
mean,
not
as it
every.
is now,
Lots
Well,
of
even
things
leader
say-
Miami-
begins to approach that.
Well,
stage.
that's
I love that.
Miami
No, I
has,
You say 5
You
years.
talk
Miami
to them,
is-
send it to me, I'll send them the photo.
has
Yeah.
got gigantic pumps that push water back out of the
The meter is
And
plausible,
we,
but
for some reason, got stuck on one thing.
You
Well,
gotta,
if there's a good
they
argument
gotta look
to be
at the
made for
second
that, we
derivative
don't
power.
have to-
If I were at Art's house,
Yeah.
It's accelerated.
we don't have 4 or 5 districts instead of 2, just to punish you.
I agree.
He's not listening to you.
I guess I should keep
Next.
I'm not talking to Malcolm.
Okay, Malcolm. Yeah. Oh, I brought this along to give to somebody now if anyone wanted it who hadn't had a chance to read it yet. Do you want to keep it, Malcolm? And read any of it?
I don't think so.
Okay.
When are you going to do the next session?
Well, I don't know what's coming up next.
I was wondering if I should.
I'm gonna read Sven Lindquist's book, Exterminate All the Brutes.
Yes. It's good. Listen, Malcolm, and all 3 of you, all 4 of you. This is a marvelous book. It's about the military, U.S. military, and it's the only book that sets forth the destruction of the environment by the United States military. And so nobody really has a sense that there's a problem. One goddamn airplane just creates immense havoc every time it flies.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, one of their fighter planes or bombers. And this does it. And the opening chapter of this book is the best single chapter on what we were talking about today I ever read. Every sentence. It's called The Green Zone. It's called, what's the subtitle? The Environmental Costs of Militarism in the United States. It's a wonderful book, Barry Sanders. I think I'll buy another copy and pass it around.
I have about 20 books about war.
What?
I can get you and
What?
no, the lady over here.
And
Oh,
then-
Malcolm, yeah.
and then
we're-
we-
Not Malcolm,
In
no,
that
you're-
paper I wrote for the Arkansas Academy of Sciences,
You've said all this.
I cite a study.
Well,
how's things going down there at that
Which they looked at,
television center?